surprise, motherfuckers.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode. It's like technically episode 317, I think. Overall, Keyboard Warriors. But our first in Cageside Press, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cageside Press Keyboard Warriors era. I'm Eddie Lawless, Brett Kirby. If you've never watched us before, this is not your typical MMA show. We're not going to break down fights for you. We're probably not going to preview much fights for you unless there's a dope-ass one or anything. But we are going to talk all that shit about all the drama that went down already. Dude, we're not even a week in. We're like day number 5 of 2023, and all the shit has gone down. It's fucking nuts.
We barely had any fights. I mean, we've had fights in like other organizations, but the UFC ain't even had an event yet. And we got a whole hours where we could probably do a 2-hour show tonight with all the bullshit that's happened so far.
All the crazy shit. Fucking, and you know, you mentioned other MMA stuff. Risen had their Risen vs. Bellator show, which actually, not gonna lie, was pretty dope. Now, real quick, because I didn't put this on the rundown or anything, but just really quick. Most people didn't watch it. It was live in the middle of the night. It was like a 2 a.m. start, something like that. It was crazy. I was up for most of the main card and all that, but a lot of people were complaining, kind of poking at Bellator, like, "Hey, motherfuckers, like, why you?" Because okay, my bad. Because you can watch it live, I think, on Fight TV, the Fight TV app from from Japan. But if you watch it on Showtime, it was not until like 8 p.m. like Eastern time or something like that, right? So you're talking like super tape delay, and people were pissed about that. So here's the thing that people don't understand. It was one of those things where and Otis, what's up, boy? Welcome. Otis, the third keyboard warrior. You guys will get to know him. He's on here all the time. New beginning, what's up? So people don't understand that Showtime owns the rights to that, right? They're the ones that chose to tape delay it, not Bellator. People are giving Bellator a lot of shit. Is that a problem for you that these things get tape delayed like that?
If I gave a fuck, it would be. I think the reason, well, maybe not the whole reason why I got tape delayed, but in general, the reason it got tape delayed is because it was only about 60, 70 y'all that cared. Showtime ain't stupid. The numbers on this aren't going to be great. This is a hardcore. Let me tell you something, Jack. Last time I stayed up till 4 a.m. to watch some shit that happened in Japan, it was that goddamn Incredible Hulk tournament. Or I think that's what it was called. And let me remind y'all something, Jack. That shit had Jose Canseco in it. It had a 7'5" monster named Hungman Choi. Had Fedor Emelianenko. Mark Hunt, I think. Who was the little Japanese prick that was always fighting the big guys? Minowa Man.
Yeah.
That shit was lit. I feel like such an old fogey, but for me, this little shit with Ryzen and Bellator just didn't compare. I mean, I know the fights ended up being really good fights. I seen the recap of the fights. But for me going into it, there's something missing now there. I don't know. It just didn't have it for me. Like, I wasn't trying to stay up and watch that shit. I did hear that it was a good product, so kudos to them. Mm-hmm. But I feel like back in the day, Japanese MMA did that freak show shit right. Like, they wouldn't have did that shit unless they had Jake Paul headlining, Jack. They would have. I'm serious. Like back in the day, they did shit that would really pull you in. This was cool for hardcore fight fans, but other than that, let's keep it a bean here. Who from the Joe Blow public, the B-dub crowd was fucking even checking for this shit? You know what I mean?
Nobody.
Big time. You know what I'm saying? And as far as people who are subscribed to Showtime looking for this Bellator content, again, let's keep it a bean. How many of them fucking people are? You know what I mean? Real talk, 632 people watched that shit on Bellator when they aired it on Showtime. Like, that didn't have no 100,000, 200,000 viewership type shit.
No, and it was crazy. Again, the product was great. Like, the walkouts were dope. Freaking Juana Chuleta came out with like an Aztec warrior thing on. Agent McKee came out with like a samurai suit that apparently he said cost like $100,000, whatever. Which, damn, dude. But either way, dope product. And the fights are actually pretty good. And Bellator went 5-0 on the main card, which, however you take it that way, but they were pretty happy about it. All right, moving on. And like I said, we're barely 5 days into 2023. What up?
Well, just quickly, Bellator went 5-0, but they were all decisions. Good fights, all decisions. B, just so I can give a little credit where it is, I don't want to come off as such a fucking negative Nancy here. You're right. The intros that JMMA does still top the UFC, and that was probably the best part of all that. You're right.
Oh,
The
yeah.
intros were super dope. That's the one thing I think we could take a little bit away from that whole ordeal and be like, that shit was tight. But I mean, we already know the vibe is like Dana White's not allowing that shit. So it is what it is. But yeah, shout out.
Yeah.
I do love that part of it for sure still.
100%. Speaking of Dana White. Yeah. Speaking of Dana White, he got in a little bit of trouble here. So if y'all live under 8 rocks and 6 pounds of concrete, homeboy got in some shit in Mexico. And it was like he got in trouble or anything like that yet. But if you guys haven't seen it, there was an altercation between Dana White and his wife at a club in Cabo San Lucas there in Mexico. Everyone knows about Cabo and everything. But the footage is pretty it's pretty clear, right? So if you watch the footage, you know that she slaps him first. He kind of looks shocked and he slaps her back, and then I don't know if he shoves her to the ground or she like trips back. She's got smacked or whatever. But Dana White did come out and say immediately, like, okay, TMZ put it out there. I guess TMZ reached out to him for comment, and he did an interview with him. He was like, "There's no excuse. Well, excuse me, I never done that before. I never did it again." All that stuff. There's a lot of. First, what do you think of what happened? Because you saw the video, right?
Yep.
Okay, what did you think of just a situation overall before we keep going to any possible consequences?
Well, boy, let's go on ahead and get ourselves canceled real quick in the new year too. Because I'm gonna tell you something, Jack.
Oh no!
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I wasn't as up in arms as everybody else about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look. At first, when I first seen the headline and I first seen the footage, like everybody, I'm like, oh shit, this is bad. Dana White just fucking like threw her a slap. Looked like he tried to throw her another one once the first one didn't land all that well. At first glance, it looks real bad.
Yeah.
For me, personally, let me give that disclaimer that everybody needs to give. And this is sort of, I know, you know what I mean? Like, you should never hit a woman, obviously.
Right.
But okay, so let's just fucking talk about it for a minute. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, now I don't know if any of this shit, who knows what the fuck you read on the internet, if any of this shit's true, but I seen a statement from Dana White's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's true, but if it was true, it was a statement from her saying that to say this is, surprising behavior from Dana would be an understatement. Basically saying that this never happens.
Mm-hmm.
We both had way too much to drink. Shit got out of the hand. We're all good. Give us our space for the kids' sake. Now,
right.
Unless DW's got a blade to her throat, that's the fucking victim talking here. Let's just keep shit in perspective for a minute. Yeah, did he hit his wife? Yes. Let's bring it in for a minute. Did he rock her fucking jaw and knock one of her teeth into the third row and fucking sleep that hoe in an elevator? I mean, just to be fair, I've been seeing this get. And shout out to Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell from the Morning Combat. They're one of the few MMA podcasts that I actually still watch. But I seen Luke loosely comparing this to, or at least saying, funny that they would let Greg Hardy fight in the UFC, and now Dana White does this, and we don't hear that. Hey, yo, are we comparing what we seen in that video to the shit that Greg Hardy did, throwing a hoe on a bunch of pistols?
That was wild.
I mean, there are levels to hitting a woman, man. I know people don't like to have this conversation. There are levels to rape. There are levels to all these things. Like, if you grab a bitch's titty in the club, that could be considered sexual assault, and that's not fucking cool, and you should get in trouble for it. Right. If you fucking drug a hoe and take her out back and pull her panties down, stick your penis inside her, that's a fucking different offense, and these things should be noted. If I fucking get coked out and drunk and fucking come back and beat my bitch's face in with my fist and fucking knock some teeth out and black her eye, that's fucking assault.
So
if we get in a fucking drunken brawl and she and to be fair, she smacks me first, and then I'm shocked and I'm like, hey, yo, what the fuck? And again, let's be honest, it didn't look like DW, like, bro. Boy, I wish we had more viewers for this podcast, because I can say, oh god damn, he's taking up there. This is fucking ridiculous. I can't believe he's taking up there. But the first slap, how you see how he hit her?
Yeah,
like he looked like he was shocked that she hit him.
He was shocked,
and then he was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, if that's the slap that we're all like, there should be fucking, we demand there be some consequences for these actions. I think there should be a little bit of perspective. I don't think he fucking racked her At the end, I don't know whether she fell. It looked like there were people sort of starting to like pull him and pull
They
her.
broke it up.
Yes. So I don't think he was. Again, Luke Thomas said it looked like he might have stomped her. Maybe
Damn,
there's a
really?
view. There's a maybe. I don't fucking think so.
Fuck, I hope not.
Maybe there's a view I didn't see, but from what
Right.
I seen, it looked like he took one half-ass swing at her, and maybe he took another swing when she was out of distance once they had got pulled apart. If what I seen in the video I seen is everything, let me make it real clear for all you twats out there. I'm not saying it's okay. I am saying that I'm not ready to compare him to the great women beaters of our time. I'm just not. And if we're keeping it a bean out there, how many of you twats have got fucking drunk with your old lady in a bar, club, or at your little fucking house on New Year's Eve and put your hands on your wife to that degree?
Yeah, look, and I actually pulled up the video. We can't show it on here because I don't want TMZ on our ass about it. But I'm trying to see where it looks like he's. I mean, I don't think he stomped her, but I don't know. But there's a video that says literally it says Dana White slaps / stomps wife ? Like, I don't know.
Does it say question mark?
Yeah, it says question mark on
Well, that's fucking good journalism integrity. Put the question mark out there, buddy. That's what we want. Won't you answer the fucking question for us, motherfucker? You're the journalist. Whoever posted that video, you should
I don't know.
suck a snake.
Yeah, but look, bottom line, there's that as that point of view where it's just like, look, man, and look, to be fair, she did put out a statement. She did say, respect her privacy and all that, and it seems like it's like, I mean, it is a domestic, situation where they figured it out. They apologized to each other and all that, and everything. But what do you think? There's a lot of hardline people where it's just like, you should never hit a woman, right? Which I subscribe to that personally. Like, unless she's about to kill you, like, hey, get out of the situation. All right. Now, no, Dana White said no excuses, right? But on top of the whole, being drunk, both of them intoxicated and all that.
It was New Year's Eve.
It was New Year's Eve. Like, who knows what he said to her? Who knows what she said to him? It got crazy. It was
we
real
do know
quick
is
thing.
she thunders. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
She hit him first, for fuck's sakes. Like we do again. That let me make it clear. I'm not saying if a hoe hits you, you should lay her out or some shit. I am saying if I've been married to you for 30 years, bitch, and you thunder pop, the daddy might give you one back. I ain't gonna. I'm not gonna beat your ass, but bitch.
Right. So
get over here. What the fuck you think you're doing, slapping me in public? You done lost your goddamn mind. You know how many $1 million that house cost that you in? You better chill out. You're out your fucking mind. I'll knock the shit out of you one good time. Shit.
Shoot. Santiago said hello. What's up, Santiago? All right. So obviously, a lot of people are looking to see if there's going to be any consequences, right? UFC has said nothing. Dana White apologized on TMZ. Endeavor said nothing. And then Dana White today put out his usual fuck it Friday. I don't know if you've seen that shit on Instagram where he eats some nasty ass shit every week. Clearly, to me, it seems like there's going to be no consequence. To me, I don't think anything's going to happen to the dude at all, right? Like, I don't see it.
Of course not. This is the most annoying thing about this whole thing.
Yeah.
I can't stand when people act so naive and goofy and then like, oh my God, the world's not fair. Oh no, it's not. Oh my God, this billionaire's not going to be put to the flame. Man, of course he ain't. Well, when insert goofy little UFC fighter here, when Tom, Dick, or Harry did it, they got rid of him. They should suspend Dana White. Surprise, motherfucker. The world ain't fair, and how much money or power you have very much dictates what happens to you in real life. OJ flat killed some people or had somebody do it. Then that motherfucker wrote a book about it. That's what fame will get you. That's what money will get you. Dana White, look, he ain't in jail. If real talk, all bullshit aside.
Yeah.
In that club, he had got a hold of his wife, brought her in, and went, and blood had sprayed everywhere. I could be wrong, but maybe he still wouldn't be in jail. I think if he had grabbed that hoe and fucking thunder popped her and knocked some teeth out, I don't know if he'd be in jail, but there'd be charges. It would be a problem. Time. He's not God. That was like, I mean, again, bro, I'm not trying, all joking aside, I'm not trying to fucking like victim shame or no, but like, this was a man and woman that's been married for 40 years, getting wasted on New Year's Eve, I get it. Dana White is a fucking thorn in a lot of people's side, and old fucking the Junos himself. Is that Ju? Ooh, I shouldn't say Juno, should I? We're gonna get canceled for real. Ariani, Ariwana, Helwani just couldn't wait to. I know people have been waiting to give it to DW, and for him say he's made some statements about domestic violence in the past. This is something you can't come back from. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. In hindsight, those comments don't look so great, and shit happens in life. Again, I do think that everything needs to be judged on the proper spectrum.
Yeah.
It's not okay what him and his wife did, but again, this was not his wife going, "No, Dana, you've had too much cocaine," and him going, "Bitch, I said shut up, bitch, film me, smack this hoe." Like that hoe hit him first. They was clearly getting fucking wasted. Shit got, quite frankly, you know what? The more I talk about it, I feel bad for Uncle Dana. This is some bullshit. Put y'all's phones away. Goddamn, me and my bitch out here kicking it. We in Cabo St. Lucas. I'm a motherfucking billionaire. We're lit. We're probably both coked off our tits. You put your fucking phone down. This bitch done got crazy and threw me a smack. I had to give her one back. You understand me? We had to get even. We're even now. It's all good. We got grown ass kids. She ain't going nowhere. Now everybody, oh my God, who's going to sue Dana? I think Dana should be fired. Man, we all shut the fuck up. Ain't nothing gonna happen to Dana.
And that's my whole thing. Like, should he face consequences? I think he should personally. But will he? No. No, he won't. Nothing's gonna happen. Hold on.
That's interesting. Okay. You think he should face
only
what? Because I don't even know what the answer to that question is. What should we do with him?
So that's what I've been asking people left and right, because I have no fucking clue either. But here's the thing, like, when you're a leader of an organization and stuff like that, and you got the most alpha male out of alpha males on your roster, you got females there as well, and you keep saying like there's no coming back from that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying there's no coming back for him, but it's like you gotta show that, you know, that you're not above it either. Right now, what to do with him? I don't know. Fire him? That's not gonna happen. Even if everyone, I guarantee there's petitions out there going like, we demand Dana White get fired. That's never gonna happen. I guarantee maybe Ariel started one. I don't know, but it's not gonna happen. Now, as far as what could you do to Dana White that would actually punish him? Nothing. What are you gonna do? Fine him? Who's gonna fine him? Nevada State Athletic Commission? The UFC? Endeavor? Now, Endeavor did get hit a little bit. Their stock dropped 6% after that shit came out, and that's not little. Percentages are not little. That's a lot of fucking money for sure. But it ain't gonna happen to Dana. Ain't not gonna happen. And he clearly, he's like, look, man, it's like when Kevin Hart had to keep. Remember Kevin Hart got the Oscar job, and then people someone got mad about it and kept bringing up all the like homophobic or whatever. Yeah. Like the jokes that he made before, he was like, I'm not apologizing again, and they took away the Oscar job. That was one thing. Like this is it's kind of like that. Like, you're not gonna do anything to Dana. You're not gonna fire him. You're not gonna cancel him. That guy doesn't care. In order to get canceled, you got to give a shit about getting canceled. That's what Dave Chappelle said. And he was absolutely right. But end of the day, about the only consequence that we've seen so far is his little power slap thing. We thought it got canceled completely. Everybody, like, people borderline celebrated that they thought it got canceled because it did get removed from TBS's next, because it's supposed to be it was supposed to start next Wednesday on the 11th, right? And people were legit celebrating like, yeah, hell yeah, it got canceled and got pulled and all that. And then they come out like, no, we just push it to the next Wednesday. That's how little they care about punishing Dana White. They were like, we'll push it a week. People forget about it in a week, and they might be right. Outside of Ariel maybe bringing it up repeatedly on the show, maybe, ain't not gonna happen to that dude. Nothing.
No. In general, yes, in a week it will be forgotten. Yeah, there will be people that will never forget this. Oh, there will be people 20 years from now that'll be like, he's a woman beater, like, for sure.
Yeah.
But in general, a week from now, this won't be making headlines. And the first time that, whatever crazy celebrity does whatever crazy thing next, this is completely forgotten about. God forbid fucking Russia bombs Ukraine or whatever the fuck, like some shit. Trump takes a lead in something, Jack. This is just yesterday's news. Now, the good news to all the Dana haters out there, reality check. Yeah, nothing gonna happen to him for this. He ain't going to jail. He ain't getting suspended. You can find him. He's got more money than God. I don't know what we propose that we do to him for that. Like, in general, y'all just got to take that one up the tailpipe. I don't think nothing gonna happen about it.
Yeah.
Now, this power slap league. Woo! Boy, you talk about bad ideas. He must have some shitty accountants because somebody did not tell him this is the worst idea possible.
Yeah.
I would put money into those heathen cocksuckers, those Russian cocksuckers that are doing jiu-jitsu in cars.
I love that shit. It's so
The
crazy.
3-on-3 MMA
Yeah,
with baseball bats and shit.
Yeah.
The medieval fights that M1 does. I
Yeah.
honestly have more of an intrigue in that. And I fuck with DW on most things, but I've heard him talk about this a little bit. And the thing he always falls back on is, and I suppose it makes sense to a degree, but like the analytics, the
Mhm.
numbers that these things get, you know, on social media and on YouTube, man, these things are getting millions and millions and millions of views. Hey, look,
Yeah.
Dana, check this out, baby. It's a little Asian girl right now eating live spiders on motherfucking Facebook to be getting millions and millions and millions of views. My little homeboy Charleston White be getting millions of views. He ain't doing nothing. That motherfucker got a glass eye. He just be on there talking shit, smoking weed. He's fucking, you know, it's a bunch of shit that can get millions and millions and millions of views on
Yeah.
fucking TikTok and YouTube and shit. It doesn't need to be turned into a whole fucking like league.
Yeah.
Not to mention, man, this feels horribly dangerous. It's very stupid, but it's ironically, I think it could probably potentially end up being one of the most dangerous things in combat sports. Uh, when you think about any other thing,
Mhm.
there's at least a level of defense.
Mhm.
If we're boxing, I can move, I can groove. If we're doing MMA, if we're doing jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, everything allows some form of defense. And usually there's some sort of referee or fucking commission to make sure
Mhm.
that somebody's not overmatched in some crazy way. Uh this is just repeated head trauma over and over.
Right.
You
Right.
just stand there and I whop the shit out of you. Even if you win, you're still getting your fucking brain jarred 4 or 5 times the competition, no matter what. Um, on that fucking idea alone, I think they hired Forrest Griffin to catch the lifeless bodies.
I
I
love that
mean,
Forrest will do anything. That makes me laugh, but I
I'm
love it.
telling you right now, Jack. I heard
Yeah.
something a long time ago.
Yeah.
That when they started playing with that little hydrogen, the thing they try to recreate the
The
Big Bang and
glider.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard they did that shit and we got snapped into an alternate universe. And that's when Trump became president and all this wild shit happened. Hey man, I'm telling you, between the pandemic and Trump and this wild, crazy shit right here, sometimes I wonder
That
what's
would explain it.
happening. Are we in the twilight zone?
For
Dana
real.
White is one of the most successful entrepreneurs of our generation.
Yeah.
And the story of the UFC has been sung from every fucking mountaintop, taking it from 2 million to 4.4 billion. We all know the fucking story. But boy, what is a weird, strange life reality that we live in where that same guy that made those great decisions that took the UFC from not even being allowed on pay-per-view to being mentioned along the fucking lines of the NFL and the NBA,
Mhm.
so fucking thinking opening up the fucking power slap league is a good idea.
Right.
Other than it getting a ton of views on social media, what in the fuck is appealing about this? I mean,
I
I can't for the life of me see why he's doing this.
I think Dana is just trying shit, right? He's got I could try get someone to fund it. Cool. Like somebody's funding it. TBS is gonna, buying it. Like they're just like, hey, fuck it, let's try it out. And they're doing, I'm pretty sure they're doing like a tough house type of thing, which to me is even more like it's just I don't watch the tough like the reality part. I wait till I wait till the end of the show and I'll watch the fight. That's about it. But like, it's just a weird thing. Like I don't hate power slap. I think it's weird, but it's,
I mean, listen, I have not made $1 billion doing anything. So far be
right.
it from me to give DW
Who
advice.
knows?
But I tell you, and I realize I realize
Yeah.
what I'm about to. I can just hear if I can actually say this to the white hate going, you fucking stupid idiot. That's not fucking possible because but like I would have much rather Dana just threw out the Zuffa boxing thing. Figure it out, make it happen, find young and upcoming boxers. I don't give a fuck if you find 19-year-old kids from Nigeria. Just like I'd rather boxing at least has some sort of spark to it now, and it's somewhat legit. And I might be like, okay, let's see what Dana White can do with some up and coming
Oh,
boxers or some shit. The power slap, it's a fucking joke, man. It's a
yeah.
fucking joke.
Whatever happened to Zuffa boxing?
I don't know. It went the way of the dodo bird as well, as far as the fucking goes. I guess it got
Shit.
replaced with the fucking jerk off league here, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, who knows? I watched. They did a media day, and I don't know how many outlets went. We didn't, but I don't know how many outlets went to it. But I watched some of the like. They didn't even do like interviews on its own. It's like someone put like a highlight tape together of the interviews. Man, it's cringy shit. Like you could just tell whoever shot that was kind of like, oh god, like we're doing this.
I
So
mean,
yeah,
I really can't think of a worse idea. I'd rather see Dana White get into professional wrestling. I mean, I'm not joking either. Like,
better.
I can't think of anything worse than this power slap league. I mean, what would even be the appeal of winning? That you slap the hardest in the world when somebody's saying, "Here,
So
slap me
I mean,
right
you see
in
that
the face." Like, what's I don't even understand the competitive nature of it, to be completely fair.
I don't either, but it's like, I mean, if you're drunk at a bar or whatever, you're just drunk at home. If you're watching people slap each other, it's probably funny. But like the promos always made me laugh because someone would slap somebody and Dana would be like, oh, like, yeah. I'm like, dude, you watch some of the greatest athletes in the world knock each other out, but that got you? Like,
Yeah.
settle down, bro.
You know what it is? It's like these fucking celebrities that caught fucking little kids and shit. I think
Yeah.
that Dana White's been exposed to such great fights that he's just getting the cheapest, most disgusting thrills he can. Like, that's it. Just slap each other. Just slap each other in the face. No punches, no kicks, no jujitsu. Just slap each other open. Like, who the fuck wants to watch this disgusting shit? I mean,
I
it's the
yeah.
sickest thing I've ever seen.
I low-key think that someone bet him like, hey man, I bet you won't do it. But bet you what? I bet you won't do like a slap fight league or whatever. He go, you want to bet? And he probably
I
went with it.
really, all joking aside, I really wonder what's
Yeah.
going on there sometimes. I wonder if like these cats are just stuck in their bubble, like just like living on analytics and just not being able to sort of step outside that bubble. Like I
Yeah.
don't doubt that these little slap videos get good numbers, but when you
Yeah.
think you're going to put all this money behind it, and I just again, I don't understand. Like, how on earth would you sell? Like, oh, we're all about to go to the bar
Yeah.
and watch the power I can barely say it without cracking a smile, but like if I'm being serious, like go like who how would you be compelled to go watch like Tank is gonna fight fucking the Jigsaw? Like will they have like I just don't even understand how you would begin to care about something like
Uh,
other than just a cheap thrill, like when you watch dirty porn, if you're up at 4 in the morning and there's no fights on, like I'll watch this for about a minute and a half. But who
yeah.
who the fuck would stay in on a Friday night or a Thursday night or whatever the fuck night to watch 10, 12 dicks slap each other in the fucking head over and over again? It's fucking insane, man.
I'm still stuck on you talking about the hadron collider. Because that would explain so much shit. Like if that,
It's been a weird few years,
bro,
man.
out of nowhere, shit got like wild. Like it was boring, like low key boring as shit for years of life, and then suddenly we hit 2020, and then boom, the world goes to shit. And like last year was nuts, the year before was nuts, this year's nuts. Like I'm just like I don't want. I mean, shit, collect that shit again. Let's go back if we can. What
Yeah,
the
no
hell?
shit, man.
I want to
This is
relax.
This is wild, man. So, to all the Dana haters out there, in summary, in short, no, ain't nothing gonna happen to him for
Yeah,
him throwing his old lady a smack. But
nothing.
this right here is gonna fail, boy. As my uncle Shorty used to say, "Rest his soul." I'll suck your dick in Third and Main if that's successful. And boy, I don't suck dick. That's how
That's how,
that's how confident I am that this
then it
is
won't be.
fucking born to fail. There is not a God in heaven if this shit succeeds. It might do some okay numbers in the
Yeah,
beginning for intrigue. Hell, I might watch that first episode just to see what's doing.
I'm
But
definitely watching.
son, tune in a month from now. Tune in 3 weeks from now. There's
Uh,
no fucking way this shit lasts. This is a horrible idea.
I'll tell you, it's gonna be a one-off. I really don't think it's like you said. I don't think it's even if it was successful the first season. I don't think it would go another one, but we'll see. Santiago says I don't like Power Slap at all, but I'd be lying if I say I won't. I don't watch some YouTube videos. I mean, shoot, you say everyone, you watch their crazy weird ass porn. Why not? So, all right,
But you
let's
ain't
go.
gonna spend a lot of time watching
No,
that shit.
you
So, I mean, yeah, you might watch it on YouTube. I've watched it.
cer-
I've seen it on like Twitter or whatever. But like,
you certainly won't spend money on it. I know
right?
that.
Oh, for sure.
All right, we'll see. Maybe Uncle Dana
Yeah,
will prove us fucking wrong.
yeah, that's true.
He's done it before. We'll
Yeah,
see. All right, a few fight announcements here from Otis. Dracus Duplessis versus Derek Brunson, UFC 285.
I ain't
That's
mad at that.
Vegas.
I ain't
Nope.
mad at that. It's a good fight.
This is a great fight. Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez for April 8th.
Real fun.
Really good. Yeah, and I think Adrian wanted to, because that's not. I don't think that's no, that's not. That's not San Antonio. I don't know where that one is, but I know Adrian wanted to fight in San Antonio, but whoever they were offering him wanted 2 extra weeks. It might be Rob, who knows? He wanted 2 extra weeks, and I guess Adrian was like, "Screw it, just give me a fight." Jack de la Madalena versus Randy Brown, UFC 284. That's a good one out of Perth, Australia. Cynthia Calvillo versus Lupe Godinez, UFC 287, April 8th. That's a good fight as well. More for Godinez than Calvillo, because Calvillo is on kind of on a way out. Casey O'Neill versus Jennifer Maia, UFC 286. That's solid. And Lerone Murphy versus Nathaniel. Whoa, that's a good fight. Lerone Murphy versus Nathaniel Wood is pretty solid, isn't it? If I'm thinking about the right Murphy.
Yeah. I think you are.
That's a good fight. All right. Moving on to the next one. This story is just 2023 in a snapshot. Like I said, we're only 5 days in. What the hell happened in Mexico that Dana White slaps his wife slaps him first, and he slaps her back, and then Phil Baroni murders his girlfriend at a beach in San Pancho in Nayarit. So if you guys don't know about the story, and the story came out, and it came out obviously in Mexican media and everything, and I was able to translate it directly because I'm fluent. So CageSidePress.com, if you want the story, you can actually go on our Instagram bio, hit the link, it'll be on there. So basically what the story goes is that Phil Baroni waved down or called the cops or waved the cops down, whatever, because they were patrolling the neighborhood. And he tells them, "Hey man, we were smoking weed and drinking and whatnot. And my girlfriend tells me that she cheated on me. So I demanded that she take a shower. She said no. So I picked her up and I threw her in the shower. She fell down, cracked her head. When she started getting up, I helped her back to her feet. She asked me to put her on the bed, so I did. And then she asked me for cigarettes and beer, so I went to get it. So then I came back, she wasn't responsive. And that's when he called the cops, right? Here's the thing. When the cops show up and see, she's naked on her bed with the cover on. When they lift the covers up, like her body's bruised up to hell, consistent with punches. Now, let me see if I can move this over. There's a couple of pictures here. Obviously, the face is blurred because he's in Mexico. Is different. The law's a little different there, with the identity and all that. But that's allegedly Phil Baroni right there. And then his hands are right there. I don't know if you can see it through your screen, but those hands are red. Right.
That's his strong hand. That's his punching hand there. That's real red too, right?
If you remember, Phil Baroni had a nasty right hand throughout his entire career. So, anyway, so the evidence did not match up with what Phil Baroni said, and he was arrested, and he's being held right now on murder charges, I believe. So, dude, I saw this story, and I was just like, man, we went 0 to 100 real quick. We went from a slap to like a total, like straight up murder. That's just wild, dude.
Well, okay, so this is like on the polar other side.
Way over.
This sort of thing is sort of where my leniency for Dana's situation comes from.
Sure.
Because things like this exist. Now this right here is fucking heinous. What the fuck? Even if what he fucking told the police was true, you picked her up and threw her in the bathtub, motherfucker.
That's still bad.
Yeah, that's bad enough, and that would be, I guess, sort of some dumb luck on your behalf that she died. But that would still be your fucking fault, dummy, and you still go to prison for life behind that shit.
Ever.
But with that picture alone, and the fact that they're saying her body was all bruised up and fucked up, I mean, come on, bro, ain't nobody stupid. You clearly beat that poor girl to death, man. And as the comments say right there on the thing, man, like I don't know, I don't follow Phil Baroni enough, but just the couple little headlines I've seen over the years, I'm quite sure he's not exactly playing with a full deck. So I mean, I don't want to say that I'm like not surprised, like I was waiting for Phil Baroni to kill his girlfriend or some shit, but I guess in hindsight, seeing something like this, I think it's sort of relatively easy to piece together what happened here, and it seems like Phil Baroni needs to be put in the fucking cage for the rest of his goddamn natural life, man.
He's in trouble, man. He's in deep trouble. And people were matching up because if you see on his left hand, he's got a tattoo on his ring, a left hand ring finger, I guess. He's got it matches with what Phil Baroni has and all that. And then I was able actually to reach out. I reached out to this publication here that put out the photos, and they actually confirmed it was Phil Baroni. So that's put the story out. We're good to go, but. It's a sad story. It's a crazy story, but man, it's just. I'm honestly a little surprised we don't see way more crazy shit come out of retired fighters or fighters that clearly have taken a lot of damage. We've seen a lot of stuff from like football players and stuff like that. Most of them are suicides and everything, but this is a crazy story. And man, you not want to go to prison in Mexico. You do not want to go to prison in Mexico.
Again, all joking aside, let me make it unequivocally clear. It's never okay to fucking smack a bitch in any way, shape, or form. For real.
Yeah.
But
this is the way you put it, made me laugh. Sorry.
But there are levels. Like,
yeah,
what happened with Dana White and his wife was not cool, but it was also one thing. This shit is a whole different thing. People like Phil Baroni need to be put the fuck somewhere. And again, I guess, who knows? Maybe there's some shit, but like from what I can see here, from what it seems to be, Phil Baroni like needs to be put the fuck in prison, bro. He doesn't seem like he's like okay.
Yeah, he doesn't seem okay. So who knows what's gonna happen to him? I mean, he's in deep shit. I tell you that. Was pushing with all the evidence.
Right.
Ain't not a god in heaven gonna be able to help him. All right, moving on. This one was kind of funny because of who's involved. So footage came out recently of Ilia Topuria getting in a bar fight, and I know it says right here, for example, on our Cageside Press Instagram, Ilia Topuria involved in a bar fight alongside Spanish singer Omar Montes. I have no idea who Montes is. I don't really care, but this does not look like a fight. This looks like an total ass whooping. So if you see it right here, I don't know what he's playing on, some kind of video game. Some dude comes out of nowhere, throws his hands out, shoves him again, says something to him, and then Topuria's like, F it. Now, keep watching here because someone comes. Oh, no, he already did it. Okay, it's going to keep replaying, right? So there's going to be a dude that comes out from a corner trying to get to Topuria, and then somebody Sparta kicks that dude real hard. Watch. And boom, right there.
Oh,
right on the side.
Yeah.
So anyway. I just want to talk about this because it was funny to me. That's kind of the only reason I brought it up, because nothing is really going to happen to Leah or anything like that. Dude was putting up videos of him training and celebrating with other people like literally right after, so ain't nothing going to happen to that dude. But let this be a lesson. Don't fuck with people. You never know what someone knows. But by looking at this guy, like I could see this guy in the street somewhere and I'll be like, oh, he probably knows some shit. Like he's pretty easily identifiable as someone you don't want to fuck with.
Do we have any idea why this gentleman walked up and pushed Topuria?
I have no idea. I was looking around for a while after the footage came out and nothing.
I mean, again, not to play fucking conspiracy theorist here, but like he looked like he clearly had a problem with him. I don't know what could have happened or preceded this. I don't imagine maybe he just like picked him out of the crowd, but he looked clearly like he was looking for him and had some sort of issue. He walked straight up to him and pushed him immediately. Yeah. Like, I don't know what happened before this, but I would really like to know what he did, what supposedly happened and led to him just straight walking up on dude and pushing him before he started getting his ass whooped.
I just want to know, exactly. Like what made that dude think like, let's go ahead and push this dude?
I mean, because to be fair, you watch this video and you're like, oh yeah, cool, got what he deserved. And to be fair, maybe he did. We also don't know that he didn't just get done grabbing old girl, homeboy's girlfriend's pussy. I don't know. We don't know what the fuck happened before this. I mean, I'm not saying he deserved it, but he fucking clearly walked right up to him and pushed him. I don't know.
And the action nephew says, Ilia probably took that dude's machine. Maybe. You know what? That would make sense.
If that was the story, that would be hilarious.
It's still funny.
Pretty here for that.
Come on, bro. Let's play.
Back up.
I was playing Pac-Man on here, bro. And then boom. Anyway. All right. So that was that story. So that was kind of funny. That'd be the last dude I fuck with for real. So the other story that came out, this one was way, way bigger, way more, I would say, important, but it involves somebody who no one takes seriously for the most part. And now he's forcing the MMA community to take notice. And I'm talking about the one and only influencer turned YouTuber turned professional boxer turned professional MMA fighter, Jake Paul. Signs a multi-year deal with PFL. He says he's going to fight MMA and boxing this year. Now, very quickly, through the details. He's going to fight. He's a fighter. He's created, him and his business manager, who I forget the dude's name, but they've created a division called Super Fight, the Super Fight division. But a little a little detail on that people aren't talking about. Jake Paul says this on his own video on his YouTube. Said, I'm creating the pay-per-view Super Fight division. Pay-per-view. Now, I don't know what that means to you, but it means to me is that he's going to bring in somebody that's a draw already. Like, he ain't about to fight no up-and-comers that are coming through PFL, nobody that came from Bellator. He's going to fight some big-name draw because ain't no one paying pay-per-view to watch Jake Paul beat, 0-0 guy or 0-1 guy or whatever, right? So there's that. And then the other thing real quick is that his business manager is going to be helping with like logistics and operations on fight nights. And actually, Jake Paul has a job with PFL. It's called Head of Fighter Advocacy. And then the reason all that's happening is because he and his manager now own equity in PFL. So it's a massive deal for Jake Paul. It's a big deal for PFL because of the fact that this guy gets so many eyeballs. All the little kids are going to be buying PFL pay-per-views now because that's just what happens with Jake Paul, and so it's a big deal all around. What do you think of it? Because I sit here thinking like, all right, cool, we're going to be doing the same thing we did with Showtime with boxing, right? Like I covered Jake Paul, Anderson Silva here in the Valley, over in Glendale, and when you walk in there, it was like, yeah, there's people, but there's a gang of kids, like a lot of kids that come to this thing. So, is it a money grab, or what do you think?
You smell that? I'll tell you what that smell. That's desperation, and not on Jake Paul's behalf.
No, not Jake
because
Paul.
Jake Paul actually has options, and he didn't need. The PFL has been bleeding money since their fucking inception, and just like everything on planet Earth. If it bleeds money, it's going to come to a motherfucking end. Here's my prediction. Fucking January 2024, the PFL is a motherfucking UFC / Zuffa / fucking whatever the fuck Ari Emanuel's company is, and Jake Paul fights in the UFC. It is what it is. This will never work. This is their last-ditch effort to try to drum up some sort of money. And news fucking flash to Jake Paul. Cute as he is, the pay-per-view business is going the way of the fucking dodo bird, even in the UFC, who is at the very top at that game right now. I don't give a fuck what Jake Paul's little couple fights did. Jake Paul needs a willing dance partner to get those numbers.
Right.
The UFC's number, look, you could be like, it's easy to be like, oh, well, Jake Paul did 3 or 4 pay-per-views, and they actually did better than XYZ of the UFC's pay-per-views. But what motherfuckers need to keep in mind is Jake Paul is Jake Paul. And I fuck with Jake, but he's one fucking guy. And he's a popular cocksucker. And he generates a lot of interest. But let me tell you something, Jack. The UFC ran 197 events last year. If the UFC got to hold all their cards and run 3 events against Jake, they would have destroyed Jake. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if the UFC was able to cherry pick their roster and be like, check this out, this year we're only doing 6 events. You can bet your ass those 6 events would be in fucking sane, top to bottom. The UFC don't need no goddamn body. Here's the long and short. The UFC owns this fucking market. And we're going to talk about, I don't know when you had the Bellator thing down, but let me just go ahead and blow a hole and drop the 4th fucking line. I don't know who the fuck was out there whispering about Bellator getting sold, but let me tell you something. And I don't know nothing about nothing. It's true. Yeah, that's right. It's true. Listen, Bellator been bleeding money for a month of Sundays too. The only motherfuckers that ain't about to sell to Dana White and the UFC eventually at some point is the JMMA crew.
Yeah,
they live in a different, and that crazy shit in Russia. That's gonna do what it do. But any of you motherfuckers that get big in America, you better fucking wake up and smell the coffee. At a certain point, you either just gonna close up shop and take your ball and go home, or you gonna take the buyout that Dana and them eventually offer you, because it is what it is. Bellator can't even do what they do for too much longer. They ain't making no money. The UFC, motherfuckers be quick to point out when the UFC does an event that doesn't bring in a lot of cash. The UFC, bro, none of these other companies are making any money.
Not
And
a
then they got
pay-per-view.
the balls to, God bless Jake Paul with his fantasies of making the fight game fair. Again, all y'all need to wake up and smell the fucking coffee, man. The boxing game ain't fair. NFL ain't fair. Life ain't fair. Ain't none of this shit fair. It ain't never gonna be fair like that. And I know in boxing they got the Ali Act and shit, but again, you need to be real careful about what you wish for, man. I think a lot of us as fans, you think you want what's best for the fighter, and maybe you do, but I think after about 3 or 4 years of MMA looking like boxing has done for the last 20 years, I think y'all
Jeez.
be like, hey man, fuck them fighters. We want to see these fights. Right now, you getting spoiled. You get to see all these great fights and still complain that they ain't getting paid the right money. But if you introduce the Ali effect, yeah, people are going to start getting more money. But then all of a sudden, all these fighters are prima donnas. Nobody's fighting nobody. It's a fucking shit show.
No, yeah. Not only that, I know you see like the way supply chain works in different ways, like just regular industry, right? Let's say a store is on your corner, right? Grocery store on your corner, and they sell food for a certain price. It's low price, nice, easy, whatever you get in there, you buy yourself, whatever. Inflation, whatever crazy shit happens in the world, it's, for example, more expensive to ship said product over to your store. That product, that costs, the store's not eating it. The customer is going to get paid that. So we're going to see a couple things happen here. Pay-per-views are already expensive as shit, and they're clearly not dropping that for whatever reason. They got to at some point soon, I hope, but they're clearly not dropping the pay-per-view model. But at some that cost, they're not gonna. The UFC's not gonna pay that cost with the Ali Act, for example, the UFC's not gonna eat that cost. Either the customer's gonna pay it, or they're gonna find another way to cut it because they are not eating the cost of anything like that. I think I'm with you. As nice as the thought of having the Ali Act in MMA is, as necessary as many people like Luke Thomas, like other people call for it, I don't see any way that'll actually happen. Even if they get the lawmakers involved, for example, which we would require, I think it's very difficult to make that happen. But bottom line, not fair. Nothing's fair.
And I'll be point blank with you. Yeah. I don't think it's the best thing for the fucking fans. It's the best thing for the fighters. It's not the best thing for the UFC, and it's not the best thing for the sport, and it's not the best thing for us. That's just the sad truth of it.
Yeah.
The fighters would be better off, but we would miss a lot of great fights that the promotion wants to make. The sport needs to survive. Look no further than Bud Crawford and Errol Spence in boxing.
Oh, Jesus.
Boy, that's a nasty fight. For all you pricks out there that might not watch boxing, if they could fucking line that fight up, I can't even really think right now. That's John Jones DC1, baby. Like, that's a big fight in boxing, and they're close. They're close. They've been whispering and flirting with each other. They almost had the deal done, but they just, to this day, that fight has not happened. And I'm just, all fucking bullshit aside, I don't fucking want that to happen to MMA, man. Now, when there's a big enough fight in MMA, it might take a while. But we get there usually. We get that fight. Sometimes in the prime, when we deserve it. We get a Robert Whittaker versus fucking Israel Adesanya in their prime when they're good at the height of the fucking game, man. You're lacking that shit. Again, great for the boxers, shit for the sport of boxing.
Very shit. And if MMA goes the way of boxing, dude, it's over. It's
good.
over.
Not good.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good. A couple comments here before we move on to actually very related, just very quick little spot on this whole PFL thing. Effie says absolute zero chance to get Paul someone with pro MMA record, right? Hold that thought. Clarissa Shields was an Olympian. All she ever got was basically bums to start off in PFL. And then, someone was talking about the movie Cheap Thrills. Oh, Santiago says it's cheap. I've never seen it. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up. 2013. Damn, so I must have heard about it. All right. The other thing that sucks to this, and Jake Paul said it in his video, and we'll talk about this very quickly because I don't know how real this might be. Jake Paul says he offered Nate Diaz a 2-fight deal, a boxing match, and 6 months later an MMA fight in PFL. And then Nate tweeted out a picture of a Risen photo, right? Risen FF or whatever. Mm-hmm. They just signed Manny Pacquiao. Nate's like, I'll fight Manny, maybe. So anyway, so this is just to put it out there. I don't think it happens. I don't think we'll see it. Nate has way more, in my opinion, has way more options than Jake does. But who knows? What do you think?
Well, so I think this. Well, look here. I don't think it happens.
Yeah.
Because even if they could do the boxing, you definitely can't do the MMA fight, right? I
Yeah.
don't know if they'll give Jake Paul somebody with pro experience.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're not going to give Jake Paul Nate Diaz in a MMA fight.
Yeah.
He's never had an MMA
Boy,
fight, and quite frankly, he's
yeah.
never really beat anybody in boxing. It's not exactly Floyd and fucking Connor here, or even fucking Ray Mercer. Like,
Right.
at least the prick used to be a boxing champion of the world. I like Jake Paul, but I don't see a way in which they could sanction a fight with him and Nate in MMA. Like, maybe boxing, because Nate
Yeah.
has been a champion in MMA and fucking, whatever.
Yeah.
But like Jake can't fight as much as like that'd be fun to watch and shit. I'm here for it, but like
Yeah.
I don't imagine that's literally possible at all. Like, the boxing match might be fun, but they can't fight together in a cage. I don't think. I think it's illegal.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And when I tell you, I have people that tell me like, "Oh, Jake will win 2 decisions." I'm like, "Shut up,
Oh,
shut up."
listen, but here's the thing. I ain't even talking about that. Of course, I think fucking Jake would get twisted up like a Sunday pretzel. But the point is, who cares what you think happened in the fight? What I'm
Right.
saying is, I don't like, bro. One is a legend in this sport, and the other has
Right.
never competed there. Jake Paul is not a legend in boxing. They're not equivalent.
Yeah, they're not equivalent. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's a wild story. All right, 2 quick ones before we go because we got to go. We're late. Ariel said this. So there's no solid proof or anything. It's just a rumor that Ariel Helwani heard. You put it on the show. The Nose said that Bellator may be on the market. I think they're owned by Viacom. Very quickly, do you think there's a buyer anywhere?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah?
yeah.
Okay.
His name's Uncle Dana.
That'd be wild.
Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. I believe that this is true, and I think that the UFC or Dana or Ari Emanuel or what's it called, Endeavor, or whoever the
Yeah.
fuck is. I think either they'll buy it or man, they're shrewd businessmen. I think the reason they probably ain't bought it yet is because they know how to play the long game.
Yeah, they do.
They're gonna wait until Bellator's desperate. And it's
Yeah.
like, check this out, Bellator. We'll throw you 23 million.
Damn.
And we'll
I don't know what it's worth. I don't know what it's
and-
worth.
I mean, let's say they've
look it up.
spent 400 million, or it's estimated at 100.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the UFC is good where they're at. They can wait this out. Bellator the one bleeding money. Bellator's the one that every event they're like, fuck, how many viewers did we get? They're the one that's fledgling. Quite frankly, if I'm the UFC and shit, y'all need me, baby. Who else gonna come give y'all some money? Any sort of smart businessman ain't gonna look at the money y'all made the last fucking 10 years ago. That looks like a good investment. Like, clearly, y'all ain't gonna make it. And it's if a fucking high school dropout dickhead like me can walk in the office and be in there for 3 minutes, like, oh, this place called the UFC. That's why you'll never make it, because somebody's already made it. And I've said this before. Bellator, if they want to make it, they need to play ball at the UFC. They need to see how to get on Fight Pass. Like, that's the only way you play this game. It's not quite a monopoly, but you are not about to compete with the UFC at this point in the game. It's just not fucking going to happen. Not in America, not in North America.
Yeah. I think with PFL being a thing, with Risen being a thing, mainly PFL. I think the reason that the UFC hasn't bought Bellator yet is because they don't want to look like a monopoly. Even though they, somewhat not even technically, they just, in our eyes, it might be. But I think they need these organizations out there just for that reason, nothing else. Literally nothing else, just that reason. So I don't know if they'll buy it, but who knows, man? That'd be crazy if we bought it. Uncle Dana bought it. That guy, Scott, see ya. Enjoy retirement.
See, I don't know exactly how monopolies work, but I don't think you can't call me a monopoly because I'm too good at my job.
Fair.
You feel me? Like, I'm not preventing nobody from opening an MMA space. Just know if you do, I'm a bad lad. McDonald's, hey, if you want to sell burgers next to a McDonald's, try your hand. They'll probably put you out of business because you can't compete with them. But it's not like they have laws that, like, again, I don't know how monopoly works, but like, it's not my like. As long as y'all can open up an MMA organization, I can't help it that y'all can't compete with me. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Make my business less good so that y'all don't call me a monopoly? I mean, at a certain point, I don't know how that works. You know what I mean? Like, I think the reason they ain't bought Bellator yet because Bellator out there like a cheap hoe with golden pussy syndrome. They probably out there still thinking they worth 100 million, and the UFC probably like, do your thing, Playboy. Drop that shit down to 50 or 25. We'll take it. They're probably like, fuck you, David. We would never. Cool, then we'll wait. Keep bleeding money. How much do Ryan Bader cost? How much y'all paying Fedor for that final fight? How much did the Deem get out of y'all? How much y'all paying Fedor's boy? Because he's Fedor's boy. What's homeboy's name?
Oh, Nemkov?
He a bad lad. How much y'all paying Nemkov? Phil Davis. How much Phil Davis getting on that money when he came? Like, you know what I'm saying? And y'all ain't making money like that. Even if y'all making a little money, man, y'all ain't selling Bellator games. Ain't nobody buying Bellator fight kits. Ain't nobody paying $89.99 once a Saturday for motherfucking once a month for Bellator shit. So where's the money coming from?
Who knows, man?
You know, Showtime. And believe me, Showtime's not stupid. Bellator getting a little change from that, but it, you know, Showtime ain't paying them like they paying, you know, a big time boxing and all that bullshit like that. Like Bellator ain't getting no real money from Showtime. Showtime probably cut a pretty shit deal with them just to let them on their platform.
Shit, I mean, you're probably right. Shit. Yeah. When does the ESPN deal end with the UFC? 24 next year.
Yeah, I think it's next year, but I
5-year deal.
I want to say that they're fucking negotiating a new deal right now or some shit
They
like that.
should
I could
be
wrong about that, but I think they are.
They should be.
And I mean, listen, they'll get it.
Yeah,
they'll get it.
It'll happen. And I had to Kairos. I believe Kairos obviously is my boy, but I had to make sure I looked it up. Tatiana Suarez is making her return against Montana de la Rosa February 25th. So she back. And you know, look, all the injuries she's gone through, we've been waiting for Suarez to come back.
Yeah.
She looked like a champ when she fought last. So the last couple times,
so long time ago, man.
Long.
How long was that? Fucking 3-4 years or something.
She's been out forever. My favorite part is this got broken on Montana de la Rosa's OnlyFans page. So there you go, OnlyFans. Shut up.
There you go, Montana. Shit, get that money.
I ain't hating on that. I consider the UFC a monopoly because when they had legitimate competition like Strikeforce and WEC, they bought them.
But how would that make you a monopoly though? Like if we all sell hamburgers and I sell so many hamburgers that y'all ain't selling enough, so I buy your company. What, like, should I just let y'all go out of business so they can sell fish there? If I'm a shark and I do business, once I get y'all where I want y'all, ain't my like, how would it be illegal for me to buy y'all and then take y'all's little punk ass hamburger recipes? I mean, I'm actually genuinely asking the question. I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, how would that be against the law? Why would it be my fault that everybody want to buy my hamburgers and y'all can't sell with me?
Right. No, and I think Kyro's like, it's just, you know, I mean, obviously he's saying he considers it, but at the same time, like I see the point. Like competitively, no one competes with the UFC. Like Bellator could try, PFL could try. At the moment, like they hit certain fights, right? There's been Bellator cards that are better than a lot of the fight night cards, and fair enough. But you're right. I mean, and I agree with both of you guys. Like it isn't a monopoly, but it feels like it. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, look, I will admit that it feels like it because there definitely ain't. Man, listen, the truth is the UFC had a competitor since Pride. That's the truth. Strikeforce was cute. Elite XC, blah blah blah. But real talk, the UFC had a real competitor since Pride.
Yeah, man. When Strikeforce sold, I was just like, why, dude? You guys had a shot, but you know, maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, Santiago says, I love it. Football, soccer for Americans. They only play by FIFA. Nobody cares. Fair. Kyle says Bellator got fight kits. I know. Actually, do they?
No,
you know,
they don't even got t-shirts.
Yeah, I've covered a gang of those, and they don't have anything. The only thing you can get is, I mean, fair enough. The fighters get sponsored on their own. You could buy shirts from them, but I can't remember last time I went to a Bellator event where they had to stand up front with like t-shirts and shit. I'm sure they do. I just don't know.
All joking aside, I don't know how long Bellator can keep this up, man. I don't think they're making a ton of money as a company, and the same
Right.
thing with the PFL. I don't
Yeah.
know how these companies. Well, I know how they're doing it. They got really rich investors, but again, everybody's money runs out at a certain point.
Right, and keep in mind, Bellator's going to Ireland, Bellator's going to Italy, but they were just in Japan, all kinds of stuff that costs a lot of money. It'd be interesting. I'd be interested to like talk to Scott Coker or something, and be like, hey, look, man, just put it out there. How much is this costing? Because I'm curious. But yeah, all right. And then very quickly, Dylan Dennis pulls out of a YouTuber fight, and I just want to mention that because it made me laugh because Ariel, and I got to give him credit because I belly laughed when I heard it. Ariel called him a wet fart. And so now a bunch of people online are calling him a wet fart, and it makes me fucking laugh because it's funny. So there you go. Makes you wonder where his money's coming from outside of his parents. I don't know. There's no way he got that much money.
So yeah, quickly, we got to go. But
Yeah.
like, I do wonder, when Lord knows I ain't trying to throw motherfucking Dylan Dennis a life raft here, but he probably he probably would have got paid good money for this fight. He
Sure.
could probably use that money. It's easy to be like, oh, he's scared. He's scared. Keep in mind, bros, he was boxing KSI, who fucking didn't even beat was it even Jake Paul or was it the younger Paul? I think he
The
lost to
older Paul.
Logan Paul,
Logan
right? Or
Paul.
the older. He lost to Logan Paul. He
I
lost to
think.
he lost to Diet Paul. Even though he was the older one. Like he lost to the one that ain't even no good and shit. Like so
Bro.
I I I watched the interview that Dylan Dennis did on the Noses show like a week or two before the thing.
Jesus.
And as fucked as it was, there were small fucking pockets there where they were actually talking about this fight. And
Sure.
Dylan Dennis was saying that KSI's team was asking for a lot of different weight changes and
shit.
a lot of shit. So again, I'm not trying to cut that dude any slack, but I would imagine again, I don't like fucking Dylan Dennis at all. He bugs me, he's gross, but like, do I think Dylan Dennis was afraid of KSI? I don't know about that. Like, maybe, but I feel like maybe there's a good reason why he ain't boxing that dude, because that would have been fuck. Even if he did lose, he still would have. I mean, and even if he was bullshit about the numbers, we can assume he would have made a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
250, 300,000, like to show up and box a fucking YouTuber. I mean,
Right.
I'll say that if he did puss out about it, boy, he better find a different profession. I mean, tell you what's for 300,000, I'll box KSI tomorrow.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll take that fight
for 100,000. I'll box that motherfucker in an hour and a half. Like, I mean, if he wasn't gonna box that dude like that, I mean, again, I almost find it a little hard to believe, even being about Dylan Dennis. Like, surely there had to be some reason why he didn't box KSI other than he was fucking afraid, Jack. Like,
shit. Yeah, I'm with you, man. All right. And before we go, apparently Sean O'Malley said that. I don't know where he said this. I'm assuming on his podcast. But he said Sean O'Malley's quoted as saying that Dana White's wife deserved to be slapped back. Take that as you will, folks. But damn, boy. Anyway. All right. We're done talking about that. That shit is so crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, that's it for our first episode of Keyboard Warriors on Cageside Press. Appreciate the hell out of all you guys. CagesidePress.com for all your coverage. At Keyboard MMA for the show. At Gen50Jesus for Fred. I'm at Eli32. Follow us. Hit us up. Hit subscribe on this shit. Hit like. Tell your friends about us. Come hang out. This is definitely a not safe for work podcast. Just heads up. That's the reason why it's late on a Friday night. That's the reason why on the thumbnail there's parental advisory. All right. If that wasn't enough of a warning, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Go watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That's going to do it for us tonight, folks. I will be in Vegas next week for UFC Vegas 67. I was going to say 1,002. It's like 67 or something. So, Case I Live on Monday night. More than likely Monday night, Tuesday night. And then we'll be back. We'll be back on Friday. Me from a hotel room, but we'll be back on Friday. All right. For the second episode of Keyboard Warriors on here. So appreciate the hell out of you guys. KSRPress.com. Shout out to everyone tuned in. Santiago, Any Action, Kairos, Effie was here. Otis, our brother, was here. The third Keyboard Warrior. Everyone tunes in. We love the fuck out of you guys. Catch you guys in the next one. Good night. And this is something I'm never going to drop. Good night, Wilshire.